Hi everybody and welcome back to Sew Along with Jan, and we're still working on the January Kimberbell Mini Quilt, and we're ready for Snowmie number 6. I did also want to just ask everyone if you've enjoyed this little video series. This is the third of 4 videos for this. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube, on the videos, and also if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. It helps me on YouTube, and it'll help you to know when I have new videos available to watch. So we're going to do Snowmie 6, 7, and 8 in this video. And Snowmie number 6 here, let's see, is going to be another one with the little earmuffs. So it's really cute. So we're going to do the light colored background. So I've got the gray background over here. We need the white applique glitter. And of course, you know, my fabric has the shape flex on the back. And I think we're going to go back to the winter. Yes, the winter design for the quilting. Okay, so let's get our design here. So this is Snowmie number 6. This is on page 18 of the instructions. Top of page 18. All right, so let's go get our Snowmie number 6. So we're going to get our quilting first because we're going to start, of course, with the quilting. And let's see here. Go get that. Mini Quilts, Volume 1. So quilting, and then this one's going to go back to Winter 5. And the 4x4 is the one we need, so I'm going to set that one. And then we're going to go to the Snowmie number 6. So I'm going to hit Add down here. And these come in centered as well. And let's see, Mini Quilts, Volume 1. Oops, come on. My fingers don't always work on my screen. Sorry about that. So January. And then let's see, we need the second one with the earmuffs. So it must be this one right here. Looks like, yep, that's the right one. So we're going to hit that one, and they automatically come in centered. So we're good. And then I'm going to hit embroidery. And then, of course, we're going to start with the quilting. I got to get my batting, and then we're going to have pink. We're going to do a blue and a pink for the earmuffs and the scarf on this one. So, okay, so let's get ready for the quilting here. Bring you back over here to the camera. I'll get this out of the way. So the first step, as usual, will be the placement line for the batting, and I'm going to be using white thread for this one. That's how I quilted my gray. So we'll get the white thread up in the needle here, and I've got my pre-wound white bobbin in the bobbin. And let's do our placement line for the batting. Get this fabric out of the way here so it doesn't get squished. Get our batting done. So we're going to do one with the earmuffs, and then the other two I think have the little knit hats on them for the last, the last 3. All right. So then we're going to lay our batting up here over the placement line. And I'm just using my scrap batting here. I'm not cutting it. I just use what I have. And you have to trim it anyway, so it's going to go around a couple times. These are so cute. I almost wanted to do extra ones in the last video, so they are kind of fun. They go along quite quickly once you get the hang of them. So, all right, so we're going to trim this. Get this little flap out of the way here. And then we'll trim this close to the stitches. And then the step number 3 is in the quilting is always going to be that fabric placement line. So we'll do the fabric placement line. Get the trimming done here. I'm not being very careful, I guess, with my trimming, but it's all covered up with the fabric. All right, so there's the trimming for the batting. Let's go ahead and do our placement line, which is number 3, and then let me get my fabric here with the shape flex on the back. And then step number 4 is always the tack down line for the fabric. So this is Snowmie number 6. There was a lot of little blocks in this one. There was 9 little blocks in this one. Okay, so here's step number 4 of the quilting is the tack down line for our batting, or sorry, for the fabric. And then we will move on to the quilting. Just trying to see what the first step is on the actual. Oh, it's going to be the earmuffs. Okay, so then I'm going to do step number 5, which is my quilting. Okay, so the first step of the actual snowman stitch design is, the headband detail. So I've got my black in my needle, and it's done in black, and then we're going to go to the earmuffs. And the earmuffs on this one are going to be that kind of aqua gray aqua 1228. And then we're going to go on to the applique. Or the snow detail, I think, is first. Yeah, there's a little snow in this again, and then the applique. Okay, so we got the top of our little earmuffs on here, and the actual earmuffs are next, which will be this blue aqua, I think is what it's called. And then we will move on to the snow, and then the applique for the snowman. All right, so we got the first earmuff. I guess it's just the one earmuff because the other one's going to be on top of the applique. So just the first earmuff. And then we're going to do the snow. So I'm going to go ahead and put my white back in, and it'll do the little snowflakes, and then we're ready to do our applique snowman. Find my white here. And do the snow, and then we'll be ready for appliquing. All right. Oops, I must have had something pushed out. There we go. All right, so there is the snow. This is step number 3 on page 18. Okay, so I got all the little snowflakes on here, and step number 4 is going to be our little placement line for our snowman here. I'll get my glitter vinyl ready, and it's going to sew out the placement line for us to do our applique. Let's see here if I can figure out a way to get this to conserve as much fabric as possible here. Let's see. I think this will work. Gotta find the top of the head there. There we go. I think we're good. All right. Okay, so then the next step will be the tack down for our glitter vinyl. And remember, no plastic liner or plastic carrier sheet on the top of this. All right, and then we're going to trim this and do the pressing. Really like this one. I love those little earmuffs. They're so cute. All right, so just pull this back, and we'll trim close to the stitches here. Pull this back just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. It's starting to get a little shadowy in here. I'm sorry. The sun is starting to go down. It's 4 o'clock here, so it's starting to get darker in my sewing room. My sewing room is actually pretty light, even in the winter, because of where it is, but I can always tell when it gets to be about 4 o'clock in the winter because it starts getting dark in here. All right, trim this close to the stitches. Looks like I didn't do very well stitching there. There we go. And then, oops, get that out of the way. So thank you for sewing along with me. You're really truly sewing along with me. I have never done this project before. I'm just working along with you and doing all the parts. So hopefully you are sewing along with me and making this adorable little project. I think this will be really fun. These will be fun to do. I just really wanted something for that frame, and I thought, gosh, what can I put in there? And I thought about doing something else, and then I saw these, and I thought, you know what, these will be really fun. Okay, so now we're going to take this out. Whoops, just lost my thread there. I'm going to take this out over here and bring it over to my pressing mat. So give me a second, I'll tip my camera up so that you can see me do the pressing. Get my pressing cloth, my old tea towels, lay it over the design, and whoops here, there we go, get it flattened out, and then hold down, put a little pressure on it for about 15-20 seconds. Got my little roundabout ironing pad on the top here. Okay, that should be good. Let it cool for a minute before we stitch on it. And then the next step is going to be the decorative outline. So that'll be the decorative outline. Just let it cool off a little bit. And I'm going to leave the white in the machine, and then we'll do the decorative outline on our snowman. There we go. All right. Oh, that's better. I like to let it cool. All right. And then we're going to do, this is step number 6 on page 18, and this is the decorative outline. Okay, so now we're ready for the other ear muff, and it does say to put the water-soluble topping on at this point, but I'm not going to do that. I am just going to go ahead and sew on the glitter vinyl, and then this will be the gray aqua color for the other ear muff, and then I'm going to do, it moves into the face and the arms in the black. All right, so there's the second ear muff. Looks really cute. I like that blue color. And then we're going to go ahead, and steps number 8 and 9 are going to be done in black, and it's the face and the arms. So I'll do both of those, and then I'll come back, and then we'll move on to the nose and the cheeks. Okay, so we're ready for the nose and the cheeks. The nose is step number 10, so I'm going to do that in the orange, and then I'll do the cheeks in the rose pink, and that is step number 11, and then we'll come back and we'll start working with our scarf and the fringe. So here's his nose, or her. I think this is more of a her. So this is her nose, and then we'll do the cheeks. Okay, so I've got my nose and my cheeks on, and I'm going to leave the mauve pink in after I did the cheeks, because that's what color the scarf's going to be in. So we're ready for our fringe, so I need to take my white bobbin thread out, and I'm going to put my black in. And then we'll stitch out step number 12, which is the fringe part, and I'm going to leave that mauve color pink in. All right, so do our fringe, and then I got to get my white ready to go back in for the last part of the scarf. We're getting on a roll now, because these are getting easier, aren't they? I really like these ones with the little earmuffs. They're so cute. So these are actually going along pretty well. I have been working on this, I have to say, most of the day. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon now. This is a Sunday. It's actually New Year's Eve. And so I've been working on this since about 10:30 this morning, or 11 maybe. So it does take a little while. So I'm going to put my white thread back in. I had everything cut already. I just had to get all my threads pulled and everything. So, okay, so here's my white threads back in there. And now the last step that we will stitch out, because there's another one of those placement lines in here we won't stitch. Step number 13 is going to be the scarf. Okay, so there's our little scarf and we're ready to do the fringe. Step number 14, do not stitch this step. It says it's just a placement line. So I'm ready to take this out and we're going to go ahead and get rid of these. And we will do our fringe on the back of this one and we'll be ready for another little snowman. These have been really fun. Okay, so I'm just going to work on the black. Let me get my glasses again. And those little black stitches, and just be careful and do a couple stitches at a time. You don't need to do them all. Get my seam ripper underneath just a couple of those little stitches. There we go. Let's see. This is the one that's, oops, sorry, I'm knocking the camera here. These are the ones that are up here, so let's see how we did here. Those are kind of tight ones. Oh, there we go. It's coming. Those are kind of tight ones. I think there's a couple down at the bottom I didn't get. So let's see here. If I can get, I think there's a couple little stitches down here I didn't get through. Let's see how that worked. There we go. All right, so there's that part. And then let's go and do the one down here. Just do a couple of stitches at a time. It does really help with that black bobbin thread in there. And if you were using the water soluble, what I do is I use a little mister bottle and I mist it and let it sit for a minute or so, and then I just take my nail and then it comes right out. So that's another option if you're wanting to use the water soluble. All right, there's our fringe. So there is Snowmie number 6, and we're ready for 7 now. And 7 is going to be, and we'll do all the trimming at the same time. So, the Snowmie number 7 is going to be, have a little red knit hat. So that's going to be really cute. So I'll get set up for Snowmie number 7, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I'm ready for Snowmie number 7. So 7 is going to be on the blue fabric. So I'm going to use my 019 sky blue for the quilting, and I am going to use the Pebble 2 quilting, it looks like. And then this one's going to have a red knit hat. So here's the little red knit piece for the hat. And then of course we need our, oops, it's all stuck together, our glitter vinyl for the snowman. And the hat's going to be red, so I'm going to be using my jockey red. And I think the little scarf is yellow on this one. So we're going to use the yellow for the scarf on this one. So, okay. So we're going to start, of course, with our quilting. So let's go ahead and get our designs here. So here we'll go get our quilting, and this one's going to be Pebble 2, and it says horizontal. So we're going to do the same one we did with that other one. So let's go to Mini Quilts, background. We need Pebble 2, and then it was the horizontal one. So I think it was this one right here that we used. And set that one, and then these come in and say centered as well. So we're going to hit add, and then we're going to go back and get Snowmie number 7. Mini Quilts, and then January, and then Snowmie number 7, which is going to be the little one down here with the red hat. Okay, and set. All right, so that's the way it should come in. We're going to hit embroidery. And then we're going to go on and start with our quilting. get the camera adjusted here. Sorry about the camera. I've got a new arm and my arm is not the greatest. I'm going to try to order a new one. All right, so I've got my blue in my needle since that's the color of my background, and let me grab my piece of bag. We're also going to use a piece of water soluble on this one because of that knit hat, because there is some stitching on top of it. So I'm going to use the water soluble on this one too. Get my batting ready here. And the first step was the batting placement line, of course. And we'll put that down and do the tack down stitch. I've got the shape flex on the back of my fabric also, just like we have on all the other ones. For these small quilts, I decided to do the quilt as you go. Usually when I do the larger quilts, I like to do them the traditional way, the regular traditional way, and then quilt them later because I like them to be quilted through the backing. But these were all pretty small, so I thought I would just do them with quilt as you go. So there's different ways of thinking about it. I like to have my bigger quilts quilted through the backing. So these little ones though work fine. But I am going to do a couple of different things. I am going to put a piece of the shape flex on the back of my backing fabric, because then it doesn't get so wrinkly. That's the only thing about putting them together like this, that when you stitch in the ditch, you know, to put your backing on, if you don't put something on the backing fabric, it gets kind of wrinkly looking and it looks a little strange. So that was step number 2. Step number 3 is going to be that fabric placement line. Second, let me get my background fabric out here. And it is the blue. Okay, and then we're going to lay this over our placement line to do the tack down line for the fabric. Make sure I get it kind of even, and then we'll do the quilting. I didn't have the fabric they used in these was one of their newer fabrics. I didn't happen to have that one, so I used some fabric that I had that was roughly the same color. But it seems to be working fine. And then this one's going to have that little pebble design. So step number 5 of the quilting is always the actual quilting. And this will be that little circle pebble design. And then we're going to work with, I believe, the snowman. Yeah, we'll do the snowman applique first. Okay, so I've got my quilting. You can see my little pebbles in there. Isn't that neat? And then the next step is going to be the placement line for the glitter vinyl for our little snowman. So we're going to do that first. And then we'll lay our glitter vinyl. I think I've got a couple little tails sticking up here. Well, my machine's been doing that again lately. It likes to leave a little tail. There we go. All right, so then we're going to lay this in here and try to conserve as much as we can, because we might be able to get all of the little snowmen out of the same piece of glitter vinyl, because I didn't trim these down to the color, to the sizes they said, and I think we might be able to get the whole thing done with one piece instead. Whoops, must have my hoop out just a little bit. There we go. So then the next step will be the tack down line, and then we'll trim. So I've been very conservative with my glitter vinyl. I think we're going to make it. It's going to be real close. And then, yeah, we'll trim and then press, of course, with our pressing cloth, and then we will do the decorative outline. All right, so let's get this trimmed. But you can see if you don't cut all of your embellishments down, you can actually really conserve on some of this decorative stuff. And I do that as much as I can. But I like the embellishment kits because otherwise you have to go hunt down all of these little bits and pieces. And it's nice to get them all in one piece, even though I don't always use every little piece that's in the embellishment kit for this project. See, I might actually be able to do a second set of these if I wanted to, because I almost have enough for this to do another whole set. I think there's enough of the little knit to do at least one more. So, all right, let's see here. All right, so there's our little snowman. Whoops, didn't do a very good job trimming over here. There we go. Okay, so there's our snowman. Didn't do a very good job up here either. All right, so then we're going to take him over here to the pressing station with my pressing cloth, and we'll press this down. My little iron gets kind of warm after it's been on all day. So I can turn it off pretty soon. All right, we're going to press this down about 15-20 seconds and let it cool for a minute, and then the next step is the decorative outlines. And then we'll be moving on to the little hat. All right. So there's that. Okay. Put this down, let it cool for a minute, and then we'll do the decorative stitches around our snowman and be ready for the next part of the applique. It's amazing how warm those little irons get, and that heat transfer vinyl gets quite warm. That's better. Okay, so here we are doing the decorative outlines, and this is step number 3 of the actual design on page 20. Okay, so we're ready for our hat placement line, and it's going to be the red. So I've got my jockey red thread in, and we're going to do our placement line for the little hat. And it does tell you to kind of keep the top of the hat, the little wales in the hat going upward. And I did that with the other ones too. Okay, so looks like I got another little tail I need to trim off. There we go, and then we're going to place our hat and kind of keep your wales going upward like, you know, it would normally on a stocking cap. So I'm going to kind of place that like that. I need to come this way just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to, whoops, there we go, stitch step number 5, which is going to be the place or the tack down line for our hat. Sorry. I didn't get touched by the needle. I got touched by the needle clamp. That's why I jumped. So be careful of your fingers. I have my hands in my machine all the time, so I'm used to it. But every now and then I get close to either the needle clamp screw right here or the little guide here, and it'll catch me on the end of the finger. Okay, so now we're going to trim our fabric close to the stitches here. Get this trimmed. Isn't that cute fabric? That's why when I saw the fabric, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a embellishment kit. When I saw this fabric in there, I thought, you know what? This would be easier than to have to go find all these little bits of fabric like this. Like I said, I think this is like a ribbing, and you'd have to buy. I mean, like the smallest amount of ribbing they'd let you buy would be like, you know, 1/4 of a yard, you know, and you don't need, like, you need about a 2-inch square. So I thought, you know what, we'll just get the embellishment kit. It works out so well. Okay, so there is our hat. Now it says I have to get to page 21. Yes, so now it says to put our water-soluble topping on. So we're going to put the topping on for just the hat part. I'll get my tape, my paper tape. Go. Get that tape down, and then it's going to do I'm going to leave the red in, and it's going to do the satin stitch outline, and then we'll do the little white details on the top of the hat. All right. It's going to do the satin stitches first, and then we'll go back and do the little white decorative stitches. Okay, so I'm ready for my decorative stitches, and those are going to be in white for the little hat. And I've got my white in there, and this is step number 7 on the top of page 21. So we're going to put those little decorative stitches in here. I've still got my water soluble on, and then when this is done, we'll tear the water soluble off for the last part. Okay, so we got our little decorative white details in the hat, and I'm going to go ahead and pull off my water soluble now. And I'll have to remove the rest of this. I'll probably remove the rest of this with a wet or a damp cloth. That's what I usually do with my water soluble if it's not off. So it's very hard to get these off with when they're that small. So I'm just going to use a damp cloth. And then the next 2 steps, step number 8 and 9 in the instructions on page 21, are the face and the arms. So I'll do both of those, and those are going to be in black. So we're going to do the face first and then the arms. Okay, so I've got my face and I've got my arms on, and now I'm ready for the cheeks and the nose. So the cheeks are going to be the dusty mauve or the mauve pink, and then the nose will be the orange. So I'll do those 2 and come back, and we'll get ready to do the fringe again on the scarf. Okay, so there's the little cheeks and the nose, and the next step is going to be to change that bobbin thread again. So I'm going to take my white bobbin thread out and put my black in for the fringe. And this time our little scarf is going to be that yellow, that Fashion Glow, the yellow. So we'll get that loaded up here and ready for the last couple of steps. These have gone so nice and quickly. They've been very fun. Okay. Oops, here. Put this back in, and we'll do the fringe. I've got the black bobbin thread in there so that I can see it. And then we'll be ready. We're going to put the white back in, and we will do the rest of the scarf. Stop just a second here. I got a little tail sticking out there. Do the other part of the fringe, and then we're going to be ready to do the scarf. So I'll change the bobbin thread back to the regular bobbin thread. Okay. Put this out. Take the black out. Put the white back in. And we'll finish off the scarf. Okay, so we got our little scarf, and we're going to go ahead and turn this over and clip those black bobbin threads again to get our fringe. Oops, where'd my find my glasses and my seam ripper. So again, I'm going to just clip those little black bobbin threads. Might be missing one down here, but I'm not sure. There we go. Maybe I got it. Let's see if I can get some of these. These are a little harder to see down here. The ones down at the bottom here. Just trying to do 1 or 2 stitches at a time. I'm not sure. Did I get all of them? I think so. Let's turn it over and see how we did here. Oh, those all came out, I think. Those are all good. Let's see how we did down here. These are the ones that are harder to get out, the ones that have the vinyl underneath. I think I missed one maybe over on the side here. I think I got myself with the seam ripper. I'll hold my finger back. I think I'm bleeding. I always poke myself with my seam ripper when I do this. At least once. Oh, I think it's right here that it isn't loose. So there's one black stitch there. I think I got that one. Let's see if we can get this one. Okay. See how we did on that one. Those are always a little harder to get out because there's more stitches underneath. So let's see here. I don't know if I still have those all the way done, so we'll turn it over one more time. It's just right down here that it's being kind of cantankerous. Let's see if we can get it to loosen up for us. I think it looks like I've got all, well, maybe not. Maybe it's over here. I think it's actually over here. Yeah, it's right here. I think there was one stitch missing that I hadn't gotten yet. Trying not to stab myself again with my seam ripper. I always get myself at least one time. Oh, there we go. I think I got him. There we go. There's the little fringe. So now we've got a little yellow fringe on that one. I think I still got one little stitch. I'll work on that a little bit more. There's one little stitch there that's still not loose, but there's our little fringe on our, this is, what was this one? This one was Snowmie number 7. So we're ready for Snowmie number 8, and that one's going to have a pink hat. So I think we're ready for the last block. Can you believe it? We got almost all the blocks done. So I'll get set back up for Snowmie number 8, and we will get ready to do the last block. All right, so we're ready for Snowmie number 8. It's the last block, and then we'll get to put this together. So this one needs the lighter background. So this is my gray, and I have the Shape Flex, of course, on the back. Okay, and then we're going to use the pink knit for the little hat. And then this one is going to have, of course, our glitter vinyl. And I think it has the blue, the brighter blue for the scarf. So I've got my mauve color for the hat. So I think we're ready to go. Looks like it's all ready to go. So let's see here. So we're going to get our design. Get rid of Snowmie number 7 here. And then let's go get, and then this one's going to have the Winter 5 again for the quilting. So we'll go get Winter 5 first. Winter 5 and the 4x4. Okay. And then we're going to hit add, and we're going to go get Snowmie number 8. These have been fun. I'm anxious to do these. I saw these and I thought, you know, those would be really fun, but I didn't know that we wanted to do a big series for the lives. So I thought, well, I'll do these pre-recorded for you and we can still do them this year because I just wanted something to put in my frame. Okay, so let's go down here to Snowmie number 8. Okay. So there's our little Snowmie. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, and then we're going to hit embroidery, and we're ready for the quilting. So the first step, of course, is going to be our placement line for the batting, and I have my white thread because I've been quilting these in white. So I've got my white thread in, and we're going to do our placement line for the batting. Get my batting ready to go here. Get this back here and find my batting. Okay. There's the batting, and so then we're going to layer the batting over our placement line. Oops. Put that in there. It looks like I got some more lint on there. All right, and then we're going to hold that up there and do the tack down line. So is everybody getting accustomed to the in the hoop quilting, how it's always the same order? Once you get the hang of it, it really goes pretty quick. I'm anxious to put it together because I really wanted to put a cute little, like, the little sleeve on the back. So we're gonna do hopefully do a successful test on this one to put a sleeve on the back of the little mini quilt so it'll hang nicely in the frame. Okay, so then we're going to trim this close to the stitches. Maybe. Sometimes I have a little trouble getting started with the batting and gets caught on those tips of these scissors are very sharp and the batting catches on them. There we go. All right, and then the third step is going to be the fabric placement line. And then we'll lay our background fabric with the shape flex on the back. Okay, and lay it down in the center of the hoop as best I can. And then step number 4 is the fabric tack down. I'm not sure if we'll get this out of this or not. We'll try. I'm not sure if my piece of glitter vinyl I have left is big enough. We'll see here in a minute, won't we? And then step 5, of course, is always our quilting. So I'll go ahead and get the quilting going. And then the first step in the actual design is going to be the snow again. So I'll do the quilting and then the snow, and then we're ready to come back and do the applique with the glitter vinyl. Okay, so I did the quilting and then the little snowflakes, which were actually the first step of the design. So the next step is going to be the placement line for our glitter vinyl applique. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my white thread in there. And this is on page 22 of the instructions. Go ahead and get my glitter vinyl. I hope I make it. It's going to be close. See here. I think I'll make it. It's just barely. So if I get up there, I think we're just got enough. And that was just one sheet. So they gave you 2 and they had you cut it into pieces, and I just used one sheet by just holding it up like this. And that conserved a whole sheet of the glitter vinyl. So I could make another whole January mini quilt out of what I have left, because there's enough of the little knit fabric and the leather, the black leather, to do another whole quilt. Okay, so then we're going to do that was our tack down line, and then we're going to do the trimming here, and then we'll press it again. So they're usually pretty, Kimberbell's usually pretty generous with their fabrics because they have you cut it, and you don't, and with these embellishments, I often don't cut them down to the size. I just use the pieces, and then I'm going to get these out of the way here. There we go. Get this turned. And then the next step is going to be the decorative outline, and I'm going to leave the white in for that. After we press. down along the bottom. Okay, there we go. That's all I had left of that one sheet, and I got all 8 of the little snowmen out of that one sheet. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so then I'm going to take this over here to my ironing mat, and you'll notice that my helper has come back. She's had her supper and treats, so now she's happy again. And I'll put my cloth up here. I got my little iron. Put my pressing cloth up here, and we will press down. Put a little pressure on it for 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. Now I can unplug my little iron because it's been plugged in for a long time. So I think I'll just unplug it so it can cool off. All right. Now we're ready to do the decorative stitches. Looks pretty good. All right. So decorative stitches for the outline of the snowman, and then this next steps are going to be with the hat. Get the decorative stitches going. I think it's cool enough. Yep. Okay, so we got the decorative stitches on to the snowman, and then the next step, and this is step number, let's see, number 5 on page 22, the hat placement line. So this will be in the mauve because the hat is mauve. I'll get my little piece of mauve knit here, ready to go. And then this one's going to kind of go this direction a little bit. So we want to make sure that the little lines are going up and down best we can. I got to get this little. Okay, so we're going to put this one and conserve the fabric so that it's going roughly up and down this way. And it does show you this in the instructions, kind of the direction that you want to have it. So I think that'll be okay, like that. And then also you'll need to have a piece of the water soluble for this one as well. I forgot to tell you that earlier. So I have my piece of water soluble that we'll put on here in a moment after we get the tack down line done here and the trimming. Got to get to the right page. So we're on the top of page 23 now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim, and then we'll put the water soluble down. So trim our little hat here. Didn't do a very good job over here. There we go. Go down here at the bottom. And up and over. Didn't do a very good job on this side. Get some of those little pieces off of there. All right. All right. Now we're going to put our piece of water soluble down over the top here because we're going to be putting some decorative stitches on here. Let me get my tape. And we've got the Kimberbell tape on our website, and also the tape. I think I might still have some tape dispensers. I don't have them on the website because they keep changing the colors. So I think I still have a couple of tape dispensers at the store too, if you're interested in the tape dispensers. I think the ones I have in stock might be red right now. Okay, so there's our water soluble, and we're going to go ahead and put this back in, and then the next step 7 on the top of page 23 is going to be the satin stitches for the hat, and then we're going to do the decorative stitches for the hat, and that'll be done in white. Okay, so I did the satin stitches on the little hat, and I did my decorative white stitches, and that was steps number 7 and 8 on the top of page 23. So now we're ready to remove this water soluble. And I found that the reason I'm removing it is that as I get ready to do my arms, I'm afraid that my arms will get stuck underneath maybe the edges of my water soluble. So I've had that happen to me many times. So we're going to take the white thread out and we're going to put in the black next because we're going to do the face and the arms. So I'll do the face and the arms and come back for the next step. Whoops, here, almost stuck. So we're going to put the black in and do the face and the arms. Push this back. There we go. All right. And then we'll be back and we'll do the cheeks and the nose. Okay, so we got the face and the arms on, and now we're ready for the cheeks. The cheeks are first, so that'll be the rose pink, and then the nose, which is the orange. So I'll come back and then we'll be ready to do our final scarf. Okay, so we're ready for the final scarf. So I've got my sky blue, 019 sky blue in for the scarf, but we're going to go ahead and change the thread to the black so that we can see it a little bit better. And then we'll do the fringe part and then switch the bobbin thread back. I think the white, I could have probably, with this one, it's fairly dark, I could have probably left the white into and still been able to see it, but we'll use the black like we've been doing. And this is the little fringe pieces, and this is step number 13 on page 23. And then, oops, got a little tail there. I'm going to stop for a second and get my tail so it doesn't get caught in something. There we go. Okay. And then we will go on to the scarf. And this is our final little Snowmie. Aren't these darling? These have been really fun. Okay, so there is the fringe section of the scarf. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and put the white thread back in. I don't have much black bobbin thread. I do have a few spools. I always have a few bobbins here. I don't use it that much, so I always have some though, because I do use it for this type of thing, so for the fringe. Okay, and then we're going to do our final scarf. And then we'll come back and trim our fringe and trim all three of our final blocks, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so there's our scarf. So now we need to turn this over and find our black bobbin thread to trim through. So I'm going to grab my seam ripper again here. See if I can find my little thread. Whoops, I have everything on the floor here. Let's see if I can find my black bobbin threads here. These were a little bit longer on this one, so you can see them a little bit better. Some of the bobbin threads are pretty short, so it makes it hard to find them. See if I can keep from stabbing myself too. All right, let's see how I did. Oh, those look pretty good. Might be still one that's still stuck. There's always one that's left. All right, well, let's see if we can get the last couple here. This one's kind of stuck here on the side. There we go. Let's see. There's one stuck on this one too, I think. Let's see if we got that one better. Oh, that looks better. There we go. Got that and got this one. There we go. So there is our final Snowmie with the little scarf all fringed. Okay, so I'll set up over here to do the final trimming on the last three, and then the next video will be on the assembly and the embellishments. Okay, so we're ready to trim these. These are going to be trimmed the same way as the other ones that we've already done. So I'm going to find my little tack down line for my fabric to help me get this lined up with my 4.5 inch orange pop ruler. So I'm going to scoot this way just a little bit so I can reach here. I'm going to start in the block a little bit, pull back to the corner, and go forward. Just be slow and deliberate. So these are all 4.5 inches trimmed, and they'll finish 4 inches. All right. So there's the first one. That was Snowmie number 8. Let's get this out of the way. And there's the first, this was 6, I guess. That one happened to be the next one in the pile here. So we'll do that one. Same thing. 4.5 inch orange pop ruler. Get it kind of lined up there. That looks pretty good. Okay. And the little pop rulers come with like little rubber, like little grippers, and they do grip pretty well. So you put those on the corners of your rulers. I really like them because they do hold pretty well and keep your rulers from moving. All right. So there's Snowmie number 6, I believe that one was, and then this is Snowmie number 7. So we'll get this one in, and now this one's a little harder to see again, so just watch if you use kind of matchy thread like I did. Just have to kind of find it's the tack down line of the fabric that I'm looking for. So I'm going to make sure I got it. It's pretty matchy. I think I'm good though. I can feel it. Okay. All right, I'm going to trim this one. My furry assistant is helping me again here. She's happy now since she's had her supper. And now she's sleeping on her ironing mat. So, all right. So there is the last one. This was number 7, I think. So here's all of our little Snowmies. Look at those. Aren't they cute? And we'll put this together in the next video. So here's all the other ones. And then the words that we'd started with. And then we also need some embellishments, so that then there's going to be little buttons down the front here, and there's going to be little the little pom-pom balls on the hats. So, all right, so we have finished all of our Snowmie blocks. There's 9 of them, and so the next video will be at the assembly, putting the sleeve on the back and putting the backing on, and then also the binding, and we will put all the embellishments on. So thank you for joining me, and if you liked my video, please make sure you give me a thumbs up on YouTube, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. It helps me with YouTube. So anyway, we'll come back for video number 4 in this series of the mini quilts for January, and we will do the assembly and the embellishments. Thanks, everybody.